him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-my-god, my friends. You know what time it is? I'm going to let you know what time it is. It's time for the only news that matters. And Bruce Dickinson reveals what he thought of Iron Maiden when he first saw them perform and gave his opinion on previous frontman Paul Di'Anno's singing. In an interview with Record Collector magazine, Bruce Dickinson spoke about the night his then band Samson headlined a venue, supported by Iron Maiden. The singer noted that he'd heard many rumors about the band's musical abilities, but was surprised nonetheless. He said, "The first time I saw Maiden was at what was then the Music Machine in Camden. Samson were headlining because our management had bankrolled the gig and said, 'We want the top slot,' although we didn't really deserve it. That became obvious when Maiden came on because the whole place was rammed. I've heard rumors of how good they are, and I thought I'd better see them. When they came out, I thought, I've never seen Deep Purple, but this is what it must have felt like to see Deep Purple in their prime, rocking up a storm." Dickinson was, however, less impressed with the band's frontman, Paul Di'Anno. He said, "He was okay, but he didn't have a lot of flex in his voice. I thought his voice has come as far as it was going to get." The other members of the band captivated Dickinson, whose imagination ran wild. He said, "I saw what the rest of the band were capable of straight away. And I remember thinking, good God, I'd love to front that band. And as soon as they finished playing, everybody in the venue left. And we were headlining in front of about 3 people." All right, there you go. Dickinson, he also said the first Maiden album sucks. Look, that's his opinion. I may disagree with him, but I'm not no pickle whistler out there that gets so upset over somebody else's opinion. You know, him saying that Paul Di'Anno's voice had no flex. Hey, who knows? Maybe Paul had a bad night, an off night. I don't know. All I know is that I prefer Paul Di'Anno. I love the first 2 Maiden albums. I think they are the best Maiden albums. It's really different bands. It reminds me of Ozzy and Dio. They both became different bands. Black Sabbath, with Ozzy and Dio. And that's how I see the Bruce Dickinson. Like, Number of the Beast, some of it, I can totally picture Paul Di'Anno singing "Hallowed Be Thy Name." I can see that. When I hear that song, I kind of hear, I can hear Paul singing this. But man, I mean, I love I'm not going to bash on Bruce because I thought the first 3 albums he did with Maiden, even though I don't like them as much as the first 2, I think they're phenomenal. I love Number of the Beast, I loved Peace of Mind, and I loved Power Slave. Now here's a very, very extremely unpopular opinion that may piss off pickle whistlers, and the cool people will be like, wow, I disagree with that, but hey, that's his opinion. Those are cool. Those are the cool people. I think after Power Slave, the best album they did was No Prayer for the Dying. You heard me right. That's the one that everybody bashes. Oh, that's the weakest one with Dickinson and this and that. Now, I'm not saying it's a great album. Don't get it twisted. Let's cut the deck. Here's the deal, I think the first 5 albums is essential Maiden, and after that it got extremely spotty. And there are some spotty tunes on this album. I'm not a fan of Hooks and You and a couple other ones, but I love Run Silent, Run Deep, Tail Gunner, Mother Russia. I love all that stuff, man. I even like Public Enema #1. It's a lame name for a song, but it's a kick-ass album as far as, you know, comparing it to Somewhere in Time, Seventh Son, you know. Now, I can find good things in those two albums, which a lot of people swear by, Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son. Many people think they're the greatest band. Now, there is a guy that lives down here. Yeah, he's very touchy. He's a dwarf. He's a very short guy. And I always see him at shows. And on some conversation, somebody asked me, hey, you don't like Seventh Son, or do you like Seventh Son? I forgot what the question, but it was me saying, I only like Moonchild and the title track. I can do without the rest of it. And this dwarf attacked me hardcore. Like, it really pissed him off, you know? I mean, this dwarf was a symphony with pickles. Seriously, the guy was like, wow. And then, you know, him attacking me and stuff, I mean, I feel bad for him. He's always in a wheelchair. He's had a hard life, man. And I still feel bad for him, even though he thinks I'm a dick for not liking Seventh Son because it's a crime against the dwarf, but whatever. And by the way, beware of the dwarf. Have you seen Foul Play? That's an excellent, excellent movie. But anyway, so after he told me off and stuff, I went to go reply to him and he blocked me. Crazy, right? He got so worked up. And then after that happened, when I see him at shows, I always say hi to him and he says hi to me like nothing happened. You know? Weird. It's for the life of me, I don't understand why people get so worked up over somebody else's opinion. Like Bruce here. Hey, you didn't like Paul Di'Anno. That's his opinion. I love Paul Di'Anno. I prefer him in Maiden. The guy that replaced him thought, yeah, I can do better than him. And that's fine. I mean, I don't think he did better than Paul Di'Anno. I think he did a damn good, stellar job. And here's something that I will say that's very, it's my opinion, man. If you look at the concert, Maiden at Hammersmith on the Number of the Beast tour, man, Bruce is on fire. What a voice. Amazing. After that tour, I feel like he lost a lot of his voice. Because on that early years, there was I believe it was Dortmund, Germany, on the Peace of Mind tour. You already saw, I already saw, maybe some of you don't, I already saw cracking in his voice. And then Live After Death, it was not as good as Number of the Beast. And then it just got worse. Those real Live Dead One albums, I think he sounds horrendous. That when he came back and made it in 2000 up to now, I think he was better. He's still not Number of the Beast great, but I think he was better in the later years singing than he was during the heyday 80s, you know? But yeah, he thinks the first Maiden album's crap. It sounds like crap. I think the first Maiden album is the greatest album they've ever done. That's my opinion. But hey, there you go. Bruce. That was his name in Samson. Didn't dig Paul Di'Anno, man, where I do. Paul Di'Anno, Clive Burr, Dennis Stratton, Steve Harris, Dave Murray, then Adrian Smith on the next album. Two extremely kick-ass albums from a band that sounds nothing like the later version with Dickinson. You know, a lot of people praise on Steve Harris, and rightfully so. Listen to the first two albums. He's all over the fretboard. But after the first two albums, he dumbed it down a bit. He still does some impressive stuff here and there. But then there's a lot of gallop. I don't hear him all over the fretboard like he did on those first two albums. And those first two albums are like, man, it sounds like a real pissed off band, you know, that has something to prove. And a lot of people feel, and hey, whatever. I know there'll be comments below going, well, they never would have became big with Paul. With Bruce they did. I disagree. I think with Paul, they already had albums on the charts. They toured the world. They were poised. to become big. Iron Maiden, I was there. I was there before Dickinson. There was a major buzz with Iron Maiden. And I even remember hearing Rothschild on the radio. That's the first time I heard anything off Killers. I mean, on the radio. South Florida. They were playing Iron Maiden before Bruce Dickinson joined. I feel if Paul would have stayed in the band, they would have been just as huge. That's how I feel. A lot of you don't think that, but I got to tell you something you and we both have in common. We're not sure. This is all hypothetical bullshit. By you saying, no, they would have never became big with Paul, you're not sure about that. And for me to say they would have been as big with Paul, I'm not sure about that. But that's how I feel. I feel the opposite of you. But we can all get along. Remember back in the day when people had opposite opinions and we were still friends? Well, I'm telling each and every one of you, if you disagree with me, we can still be friends. Okay? And I thank you all for watching The Only News That Matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell. And leave your comments below about Paul and Bruce and how, some of you think, they would have never been big with Paul. With Bruce they were. And vice versa. And all of you. It's all hypothetical. It's all bullshit. You don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Let's just be friends. Right on, everybody. Like this video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.